Classic rock wasn't just about rebellion and power chords. Sometimes the greatest artists laid their souls bare, creating songs that cut straight to the heart. These aren't just sad songs, they're emotional masterpieces that still bring grown men to tears decades later. From personal tragedy to universal heartbreak, here are the 15 saddest songs in classic rock history. Stick around for the bonus, a song so heartbreakingly personal, even one of rock's greatest guitarists had to put down his instrument to grieve.
Back over the years, and whatever else that appears, I remember I cried when my father died, never wishing to hide the tears.
Number 15. Think of a duo whose harmonies could capture the isolation of modern life in just 3.5 minutes. The Sound of Silence, Simon and Garfunkel, 1964. Paul Simon wrote this haunting meditation on alienation when he was just 21, but the wisdom feels ancient. The song paints a picture of people afraid to connect, living in emotional darkness. Art Garfunkel's ethereal harmonies float over Simon's finger-picked guitar like ghosts in the machine. What makes this song devastating is its prophecy. Simon saw where society was heading toward disconnection, toward silence. The line, "people talking without speaking," hits harder today than it did in 1964. The song was initially a commercial failure, buried on their debut album. Only when producer Tom Wilson added electric instruments without the duo's knowledge did it become a hit. The irony is perfect. A song about the failure of communication became successful through miscommunication. This wasn't just folk music. It was a warning wrapped in beautiful melancholy, and we're still living in the world it predicted. Number 14. Picture a band known for explosive power creating their most introspective moment. Behind Blue Eyes, The Who, 1971. Pete Townsend wrote this as a villain's lament for his abandoned rock opera, Lifehouse. Roger Daltrey's vocals move from whisper confession to explosive frustration, perfectly capturing the internal storm of feeling misunderstood. The acoustic verses feel like secrets being shared in the dark. When the song explodes into its electric chorus, it's like watching someone's carefully constructed facade crumble. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be faded, to telling only lies. Speaks to anyone who's ever felt trapped by others' expectations. The song proved The Who could be vulnerable without losing their power. It's become their most covered song, because everyone understands what it feels like to hide behind blue eyes. Number 13. Consider a band writing a love letter to their lost founding member while questioning their own success. Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd, 1975.
How I wish you were here. We just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl.
Pink Floyd wrote this as a tribute to Syd Barrett, their original creative force who'd been consumed by mental illness and drug use. David Gilmour's guitar work is a masterclass in emotional restraint. Every note carefully chosen, every bend precisely felt. Roger Waters' lyrics work on multiple levels. On the surface, it's about missing Barrett. Deeper down, it's about the cost of fame and the music industry's soul-crushing machinery. Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts? Could be about any artist who's lost their way. When Barrett actually showed up at the studio during recording, overweight and unrecognizable, the band barely recognized him. He listened to the playback, said it sounded a bit old, and left. They never saw him again. This song captures the specific sadness of watching someone disappear while they're still alive. Number 12. Picture a legend in his final years, taking a song about addiction and making it his own deathbed confession. Hurt, Johnny Cash, 2002.
Empire of dirt, I will let you down.
Cash transformed Nine Inch Nails' Industrial Nightmare into something far more profound. His weathered voice, barely above a whisper, carries the weight of a lifetime's mistakes. When Cash sings, "I hurt myself today to see if I still feel," you believe every word. The video, filmed in his closed museum, shows Cash as a frail shadow of the man in black. The song's power comes from its honesty. Cash doesn't ask for forgiveness or offer excuses. He simply states the facts. He's hurt people, he's made mistakes. Now he's running out of time to make amends. Cash died 7 months after recording this. Trent Reznor himself said the song wasn't his anymore. It belonged to Cash. This is what redemption sounds like when it comes too late. Number 11. Imagine an Irish singer-songwriter crafting one of the most brutally honest songs about depression ever recorded. Alone Again, Naturally. Gilbert O'Sullivan, 1972. O'Sullivan's conversational delivery makes the song's dark themes even more unsettling. He sings about suicide, abandonment, and loss with the casual tone of someone reading a grocery list. The gentle piano melody creates a disturbing contrast with lyrics about wanting to throw yourself from a tower. The song tells 3 stories: a man left at the altar contemplating suicide, his father's death, and his mother's subsequent death from grief. O'Sullivan connects them with the refrain, "Alone again, naturally," as if isolation is the human condition's default setting.
Truly I'm indeed alone again, naturally.
This song spent 6 weeks at number 1, proving that audiences were hungry for emotional honesty. O'Sullivan doesn't offer hope or redemption, just the raw truth of what it feels like to be completely alone. Number 10. Think of the man who gave us American Pie, turning his attention to another tortured artist. Vincent, Starry Starry Night, Don McLean, 1971.
Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze.
McLean's tribute to Vincent van Gogh is a masterpiece of empathy. He sees past the myth to the man, someone who painted beauty while drowning in mental illness. The gentle acoustic arrangement mirrors Van Gogh's delicate brushstrokes. They would not listen. They did not know how to describe any misunderstood artist. McLean's voice breaks slightly on certain phrases as if he's fighting back tears. The song understands that genius and suffering often walk hand in hand. Van Gogh sold only 1 painting during his lifetime. Today, his works sell for hundreds of millions. This song understands that recognition often comes too late to matter. Number 9. Consider an artist who took an 80s synth-pop song and stripped it down to its emotional core. Mad World, Gary Jules, 2001.
Children waiting for the day they feel good.
Gary Jules' cover of Tears for Fears' Mad World moves at the pace of grief itself. The original was danceable. This version is unbearable in the best way. Jules' fragile vocals drift over minimal piano, creating space for every painful word to land. The song captures that feeling of being completely alone in a crowded world. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take, becomes a mantra for anyone who's ever felt invisible. The sparse arrangement creates an atmosphere of complete desolation. Sometimes the saddest songs are the quietest ones. Jules proves that you don't need volume to create impact. Number 8. Think of a band known for cryptic lyrics suddenly speaking directly to anyone who's ever wanted to give up. Everybody Hurts, REM, 1992. Michael Stipe abandoned his usual wordplay for something more urgent. Everybody Hurts is REM's most straightforward song, and their most necessary. The message is simple. You're not alone, and this pain will pass. The song builds slowly, like hope returning. When the full band finally kicks in, it feels like a musical embrace. The video shows people stuck in traffic, each dealing with their own private struggles. As the song progresses, they abandon their cars and walk together. This song has literally saved lives. Fans have written to tell the band so. REM created something more than entertainment. They created a lifeline. Number 7. Imagine a prog rock band known for epic compositions creating their most powerful moment with just acoustic guitar and violin. Dust in the Wind, Kansas, 1977.
All we are is dust in the wind.
Kerry Livgren wrote this existential meditation after reading a book of Native American poetry. The phrase, dust in the wind, struck him as the perfect metaphor for human mortality. Steve Walsh's vocals are unusually vulnerable for Kansas. The finger-picked guitar pattern is hypnotic, like time itself passing. When Robbie Steinhardt's violin enters, it sounds like a soul departing. The song forces you to confront your own mortality in under 4 minutes. All we are is dust in the wind isn't nihilistic, it's liberating. If nothing lasts forever, then our failures don't matter as much as we think. Kansas proved they could be just as powerful when they simplified. Number 6. Picture Seattle's most introspective band creating their most vulnerable moment. Black, Pearl Jam, 1991. Eddie Vedder wrote this about watching someone you love become a stranger. His vocals start as a whisper and build to a wail, mirroring the emotional journey from acceptance to desperation. Mike McCready's guitar solo becomes another voice in the conversation. The song's power lies in its specificity. I Know Someday You'll Have a Beautiful Life isn't generic heartbreak. It's the specific pain of wanting the best for someone who's no longer yours. Pearl Jam refused to release this as a single, keeping it sacred. The song captures that moment when you realize a relationship is over, but you're not ready to let go. The song helped define the grunge movement's emotional honesty. Number 5. Think of a voice that could convey a lifetime of pain in just 4 minutes. Nutshell, Alice in Chains, 1994.
Feel better there.
Lane Staley's vocals on Nutshell are haunting prophecy. Recorded during his deepest struggles with addiction, every word carries the weight of someone who knows he's dying. The acoustic arrangement strips away all pretense, leaving only raw honesty. We chase misprinted lies, could be about addiction, fame, or the human condition itself. Jerry Cantrell's guitar work is restrained, giving Staley's voice room to break your heart. Staley died in 2002, found in his apartment after 2 weeks. Nutshell became his epitaph, a goodbye letter written years before the final farewell. Number 4. Consider a band at their creative peak exploring the dangerous comfort of emotional disconnection. Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd, 1979.
Hands felt just like two balloons.
David Gilmour and Roger Waters wrote this together during a rare moment of collaboration on The Wall. The song works on multiple levels, as part of the album's narrative about isolation, and as a standalone meditation on depression and numbness. The song's structure mirrors its theme. The verses are conversational, almost clinical. The choruses soar with emotion. It's the difference between describing pain and feeling it. The guitar solos tell their own story. The first is restrained, searching. The second is a full emotional release. The song captures that dangerous place where pain becomes preferable to feeling nothing at all. Pink Floyd was falling apart when they recorded this, but they created something eternal. Number 3. Picture a band known for harmonious country rock, creating a haunting ballad about self-imposed isolation. Desperado, Eagles, 1973.
Things that are pleasing you can hurt you somehow.
Don Henley and Glenn Frey wrote this as a character study of someone who's built walls so high they can't find their way back to human connection. Henley's vocals are tender yet urgent, like someone trying to reach a friend who's slipping away. The song uses the metaphor of an outlaw to explore the psychology of emotional isolation. What makes this song devastating is its accuracy. We all know someone who's chosen loneliness over vulnerability, who's convinced themselves that independence is worth the cost of connection. The desperado isn't a villain, he's a victim of his own fear. The song captures that specific sadness of watching someone destroy their own chances at happiness. You better let somebody love you before it's too late isn't just advice, it's a plea. The Eagles created a perfect portrait of modern loneliness, wrapped in a melody that stays with you long after the song ends. It's about the walls we build to protect ourselves that end up becoming our prisons. Number 2. Picture the world's greatest rock and roll band setting aside their rebel spirit to create their most tender heartbreak ballad. Angie, The Rolling Stones, 1973.
Angie, don't you weep. All your kisses still be sweet.
Mick Jagger and Keith Richards wrote this acoustic masterpiece during a period of personal turmoil. The song strips away the Stones' usual bravado, leaving only raw vulnerability. Jagger's vocals are uncharacteristically gentle, like someone trying not to wake a sleeping lover while saying goodbye forever. Richards' acoustic guitar work is deceptively simple, but emotionally complex. Each chord change feels inevitable, like the slow realization that a relationship has run its course. The string arrangement, added later, embraces rather than overwhelms, like a final hug before parting. What makes the song devastating is its resignation. No anger, no blame, just the sad acceptance that love sometimes isn't enough. The narrator loves Angie enough to let her go, surrendering where they usually defy. Its beauty lies in contradictions, intimate yet universal, specific yet timeless. Everyone has an Angie, someone they loved but couldn't keep. The Stones captured the particular sadness of loving enough to walk away. Angie became one of their biggest hits, proving vulnerability could rival rebellion and revealing the human side of the band fans rarely saw. Number 1. Picture a band's lead singer confronting his own mortality and family trauma in an epic 11-minute journey. The End. The Doors, 1967.
This is the end, beautiful friend.
Before it became an 11-minute psychedelic odyssey, The End began as Jim Morrison's simple breakup song to longtime girlfriend Mary Warblow. But as recording sessions went on, Morrison expanded it, adding surreal images of loss, alienation, and the inescapable finality of life. The sparse, winding instrumentation creates a dreamlike, almost funereal atmosphere, while Morrison's performance shifts from hushed vulnerability to unsettling intensity. What started as a deeply personal goodbye evolved into something larger. A meditation on endings of all kinds, relationships, innocence, and existence itself. While it wasn't written as a farewell to his own life, lines like, "This is the end," take on an uncanny weight in hindsight, knowing Morrison would die just 4 years later. The song's hypnotic descent into darkness remains one of rock's most haunting and emotionally draining listening experiences. A farewell that feels both intimate and cosmic. Bonus entry. Think of one of rock's greatest guitarists setting aside his instrument to process unimaginable grief. Tears in Heaven. Eric Clapton, 1992.
You hold my hand. If I saw you in heaven.
Clapton wrote this after his 4-year-old son Connor tragically fell from a 53rd floor window in New York City. The song is a father's attempt to make sense of senseless tragedy, a plea for understanding in the face of heartbreak. His voice, usually confident and bluesy, trembles with uncertainty and pain, capturing the fragile human side of a rock legend. The acoustic guitar work is deliberately simple. This isn't about technical showmanship. Every chord, every note, serves the raw emotion of loss. Lyrics like, "Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven?" ask a question no parent should ever have to consider. Yet Clapton delivers it with quiet reverence. The song became Clapton's biggest commercial hit, but the success felt hollow against such personal sorrow. He eventually stopped performing it regularly, not wanting to reopen wounds that never fully healed. Yet for millions who have faced loss, Tears in Heaven remains a hauntingly beautiful expression of grief, hope, and the longing for reunion that words alone cannot convey. These songs prove that rock's greatest power isn't in volume, it's in truth. They've soundtracked our darkest moments and somehow made us feel less alone in the darkness. Which one cuts deepest for you? Drop a comment and let me know which song hits hardest.